Hello, and we are live again with our Passion Unscripted episode. And today we are gonna delve into the. Actually, first, let's introduce ourselves. Okay, it's here Irina Portnova, Tobi Staples, and Dina Alexander, the best ever women, the ones that speak up the truth without hiding anything, and we are so proud of it. And today we are going to be talking on this episode about desires and imagination and how important to embrace the sexual fantasy. All right. Okay. Toby, wasn't it you who offered that topic? Tell us, please, why did it come to you?
Hey, didn't we all discuss it? I love how you hey, Toby.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Toby.
Okay, what are
Toby,
we
you
gonna
take
talk
the
about?
bullet for the team.
What are we going to talk about, right? Remember,
Oh,
it's
you know
always
what?
you have somebody's inspiration.
It's really, really important because couples that are in a longevity relationship, like, okay, if you're into one night stands and you're not into commitment and you're not into anything that's how would I say it, structured and secure for the rest of your life, and you just want to fly off the whim, well, then this isn't for you. But the ones that are in long committed relationships that need to bring the oomph back, this is for you. Why? Because one person, like I threw on a post on my story, one person can be 1,000 different women to the right man. And I'm very adamant about that. That's why, like I say, it's a different topic, but that's why I say the next relationship I get into will be lifelong, because I will make sure it works with all kinds of imagination and power of sexual fantasy if it's a must. Dina, what do you think?
I love this.
I totally with you. What I'm going to add is, look, imagination, it's needed because when you're a child, I don't know when we lose that thing, that child like imagination. I don't know when it happened. So if you're listening to this now, and you all, Irina and Toby, think back. When was the time that you lost your childlike imagination?
Well, for me, it was when everybody started to say that, like grow up, stop living in your dream world, come back to the earth, right? And usually it's been told by adults, right? Because when we were small and young, we were like just, embracing ourselves, thinking, okay, I'm going to be the actress, I'm going to be the superstar, and all nine yards, right? And we were just, so freely with our fantasies and our imagination. And now what ended up with everybody else is like everybody's imagining all the bad things that can happen to them.
Yes. And you, Toby, I love that, Irina. You nailed it. It's another show, but you nailed it.
Well, the first time I got disconnected from my creative play and imagination was being sexually abused at 4 years old. See,
Mm.
that is really what ripped
This
me away from that childlike play.
Yeah.
But that's
Totally
okay,
different.
because now that I've healed, I'm right back into that creative play and power and imagination of it. This is why it's so important, because even though people have lost it, they can so tap back into it full force, like I have. So that's why I encourage everybody to do it, because all the things that I can imagine, oh, I won't let you into my head.
Mhm.
Yes. Amen. So I'm going to share a little bit about me in that area. I lost my imaginary thingy
Mhm.
when I got my kid, my daughter. I became an adult like that because I usually don't listen to anybody. I'm so stubborn and I'm so like independent and I don't care. I usually don't listen. So I was always into Barbies and Black Barbies and Iron Man and Hulk, and I can go in that world and be a superhero. So now I am a superhero. But when I got it back, it's when I met a master In my spiritual journey, I met the master, and he told us, you need to disconnect. So I disconnect with everything. And then I got my Dina back. So I'm, yeah, that's so so I think this is very beautiful, even though this is just a talk show. But people out there can use this as a tool, as a learning time, to try to check whether when you lost that thing, because
Mhm.
it's very, very important. When you can imagine, you can become it, or you can make it happen. That's manifesting.
Yay!
And imagine you can manifest everything in your bed. It's perfect. So what do you want to do? You want, I'm the only one talking here. No, that's not okay. So I'm providing you the mic.
Irina, go for it.
So why do I think the sexual fantasy is important, right? And we were talking behind, before we got on stage, right? Because I said it applies to men as well as women, and Toby's like, well, we are women. We are going to be talking about us, but statistically speaking, it's more men who actually have a lot of fantasies. Not so many women are so brave to go into this world, right? So we are just here to shed some light and to say it's completely okay for women also to fantasize in the bed and also have sexual imagination, because that's exactly who we are, right? And by our nature, by our, like, if it wasn't for everybody, like, why would we even think about it, right? Whatever comes into our world, it's just like worth of exploring, right? And the way we explore it, we just ask ourselves the questions, like, like, do I want to have my sex experience more interesting, more different, right? Colorful, I should say, right? And the thing is that, especially when you are staying in a long term relationship, right? This is exactly where it comes even more handy, because you realize that you want to bring different experiences into your bedroom, because that's where, infidelity happens, that's where divorces happen, because if people doing the same old in the bed, right, that's exactly where the boredom starts, and we know we all love the fun and joy. What do you think, Toby?
Oh, I have very sexual natured energy. I know that I'm a healer, so all healers are very sexual in nature because of our healing capacities. And me personally, I love sex in all magnitudes, but desire and imagination, oh boy, mine can run wild sometimes. And that's the best thing, because then you could sit there with it and go, well, what if? Or that would be nice. And in your own imagination play, you'll actually decipher the things that you may not want to try and the things that you may want to try. And this is why it's so important to explore your own curiosity, because you will understand your own sexual boundaries with your own sexual desires and imagination if you actually take a look at it. You see, everybody's watching, oh, well, it's supposed to be like this, and it's supposed to feel like this, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. But guess what? Everybody's unique with a different experience. So everybody's desires are different, everybody's needs are different, and everybody's imagination is different. And if you've never been explorative when it came to sex, well, don't waste another day robbing yourself of that experience. Seriously, because you need to self indulge in order to be able to act out on it. You must explore it within first, figure out your comfort zones. But then, if you have a partner that you want to spend the rest of your life with, holy shit, you got to bridge that gap with them every day, not once a week, not once a month. You got to know your partner's good. So, a lot of people consider it sexual play as just the act of sex, but there's so many other things that can be put into a part of it that is just as satisfying as sex is for both partners, which involve fantasy and role playing. And, you know,
Yes. Perfect. That's what I wanted. because then you can handle the next question, because I have a question.
Sure.
So let's share our sexual fantasies.
Ooh.
If you think you want to, because I cannot say that you have to, but maybe the audience, it would be nice for them to have an example. I like the face of Irina.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And Dina, you're gonna be the first one, right? You
Yes,
demonstrate.
I am. Because you know why I'm going to be the first one? Because usually, because I am a sex coach, they are expecting something big, something and it's something very deep. It's a chemical that you don't get. You don't. It's not sex. It's it's a feeling that you cannot describe, and that is what tantrics talks about, the seventh heaven. And it's something that you cultivate to people, to person, cultivate all by themselves. And when they get together, that feeling, you get that seventh heaven feeling. And it's like heaven. The sex is better, the food is better, the drink is better, everything is better, the air is better. So I'm not talking about um um
Are you talking
performance.
about an aphrodisiac?
No,
No.
no. Tantric says it's something that you cannot describe. And when you cannot describe it, that's seven heaven. Everybody got that feeling once. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I've had it many times.
So that's my sexual fantasy, to have that every time, every day, constantly.
Oh, your fantasy is to
Oh.
be in a euphoric feeling, flowing
Yes.
all the time.
And it doesn't have to be an intercourse, because
No.
it's intimacy. It's intimacy. And that
Yeah.
euphoric feeling, you can have it in a gym. You can have it by eating a I got
The smell.
saliva in my mouth, because I'm thinking, because that's what I'm talking about. That feeling is my sexual fantasy, my power. It's constantly there. So it's not an act. It's not the performance. It's not a posture. It's not. It's that feeling that you cannot describe. That's my fantasy. So
Yes. So I have a question to you. What does give you that feeling? What exactly enticed that feeling in you?
different things. I need to be up with my food, with my what I eat. I just don't need to go and go out of my diet, because then I'll jeopardize it. So I need to have my supplements. I need to have my um I don't eat in the morning. How do you call that?
Fast.
Fasting.
Intermittent fasting.
I fast. I need to go to the gym. I need to have my orgasms every other day or every day. I need to practice my pelvic muscle with my crystal twice a week. That's how I keep my life force, because the life force is there, is in the chakra 2, second chakra. I like the face of Toby. You need to do some, because it won't happen all of a sudden. Then, or you'll get glimpse. You know what I'm talking about, the glimpse.
Actually, I know what you mean because I live in that euphoric feeling daily,
Perfect.
all the
Perfect.
time. Like, yes, I'm on a constant orgasmic wave. Totally.
Yes.
So I get it.
That's the power of sexual. That's my power of sex. My fantasy to be in that constantly. For example, my mom she fell, and in that period I lost it. So I think the last 1 week and a half, I'm back. I'm back in it, because I cannot lose it for a long while. Did I respond to your question? Did I answer your
Yes
question?
and no, because you still didn't, like say the details.
Yes, I
Because,
told
okay,
you
yeah, well,
supplement, fasting, yoni egg training, orgasms, and I'm not talking about clitoris. That's not enough. Good orgasm. I'm not talking about one orgasm. I'm talking about staying like, oh, that's
And
what I'm
then the
talking about.
intensity heightens and heightens after everyone after.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
when when you are aware that you are not in your masculine, you need to do stuff. No, when I'm like that, it you won't feel it. You won't feel that euphoric um feeling or that orgasmic feeling like Toby called it.
Yeah. It's a euphoric feeling that penetrates every cell of your
And
body.
and these last couple of weeks, because my mom was sick, I didn't have time to orgasm, but I ignited again without that. So it really doesn't have to do much with orgasm. It's a part of a tool. Did
Yeah,
I
well, you
respond to
probably
you now?
needed an orgasm more than ever, though, over that week.
Yeah, yeah. But I compensated with going to gym. You need to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Okay, my body needed that serotonin from gym, and that's what I needed. And these couple of days last week, this last week, I've put some oxytocin in it. So I work as a coach a lot with those chemicals that your body can produce that you need, and you need to be aware what your body needs, and then you'll stay in that orgasmic feeling.
Vibration.
Yes.
So, what's your sexual fantasy, Irina?
yes, it's very interesting. One second, one second. Can you start, Toby?
Yeah, no problem. Well, I'll tell you, I've been around the block when it comes to sex. I don't think there's a position that I haven't explored, and I don't think that there's an encounter that I haven't explored. And I will openly say, when I was a very young woman, I was engaged in prostitution. So if there's sexual fantasies, oh boy, did I have to service them. So I know a lot about sexual fantasies, but when it comes to mine, I love men in work boots. Jesus. So what's my fantasy? Ah, middle of
Men
a
with
field
boots.
with a big, strong, strapping man in work boots who's
Ah,
able to plow me like he does those fields. We good. Yeah. Not too much else turns my crank, but some real men stuff, you know. It's only because I've explored so much. I'm very experienced when it comes to sex and sexual encounters. I was exposed to sex really early, and that is what I believed was the access route to love, that you had to provide sexual interaction to be loved. So therefore, I went through a lot during my life believing that, well, yeah, that was enough, but no, it's not. And where I am today, listen, I don't have a partner, so I don't really stay in a fantasy kind of sexual fantasy because I have no desire right now. I'm walking around whole healed and as a universal ball of love. So what do I desire is the compatibility of a partner of my magnitude so that I know that any sex or foreplay or interaction is open, no shame, no blame, no guilt, no denial, no, oh, no, 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 because I'm not like that. So if I'm going to hook up with somebody, which my next one will be a lifer, there are no green lights, and leave the inhibitions where you left your last partner, because inhibitions don't work with me. But power of sexual fantasy is huge when you want to keep a connection lit and well connected. Because listen, when you're turning your man's crank right, that's all he's thinking about at the end of the day is to get home to you. It doesn't matter what he's seeing along the way. So sexual fantasy is huge. But you, as being that divine feminine, should have that ability to explore these sexual fantasies with your partners, because I can't agree with Irina when she says it's more men than women, because our brains function different. So how a man fantasizes about sex is very different than how a woman fantasizes about sex. But I honestly think because we're the takers, that we actually fantasize more than men. Men do it surface level because of porn and visual stimulants and visual whatever. But women, once you've had an orgasm as a woman, you always want it, and you're going to figure out 1,000 different ways to get it. A man is not creative like that. So I really think that it comes to a woman being more open to sexual fantasy and foreplay and role playing and whatever it is. A man is not going to want to dress up in all kinds of gear for you. Right? Well, my husband better be ready to play lumberjack and fireman in 2 days span. I don't care.
Fantastical.
You know what? Why I disagree with you, Toby, because like when you are talking about women, you are talking about the awakened women, and it's different from any other crowd of women. And I've met a lot of women who are very closed off and who are not experiencing anything, and for them it's kind of, like, this is not my job. So that's why, like, a lot of men are always having the fantasies. Not every woman does.
No, but you
So
know what? Yeah, go ahead, finish.
yeah, so that's exactly what it is. Like, why would men watch porn and women don't, right? So again, because they are more open to imagination, they are more open into the fantasy. I agree that women can be more creative, but again, you have to awaken that side of them, because a lot of them are not even open to that.
Okay, I got to challenge. I don't challenge you. What I do is say this. Before I was spiritually awakened, sex was a tool for me. Now, being an awakened female in her divine feminine power, I won't just lay down with anybody. Whereas before I was awakened, no boundaries. I just wanted fun sex. But it all ended up to be empty and orgasmless. So it caused frustration in me. It caused my depletion of sexual fantasy in completion almost, because I couldn't be fulfilled. That's why actually I went into self-mastery hard, because I really thought I had a problem. But it was actually to the magnitude of which I'd been exposed to sex all my life that the curiosity and exploration has to be just as huge as the prior experience, or it doesn't impact you. And I only realized that after I was like come out of that stage. You wanted to ask something, Dina?
Yes, I wanted to say you are a very you are not the norm. I do agree with Irina. You are not the normal women that I usually get also. You are you're good. What you did, what happened to you was fantastic, because it could have been gone very wrong.
Yes.
I think, but in my experience, since I opened my practice, a lot of women, they are just laying on bed as a doll, waiting for the men to do everything.
You see, I'm not a sex coach. I don't know that.
Yeah, that's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm sharing this. The women are, I don't know why they get this blockage. It's like they are not allowed to take charge, to say what they want, because they usually they are afraid for a man to go and leave them for another woman. There are a lot of reasons why, but believe me, the normal women are not like you.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Exactly. Exactly.
And accept and how you say, how you say that, and you are very
Oh,
different.
I'm open to all
Yes.
kinds of
And can I
discussion.
just bring the fact? So, the study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that 95% of men and 88% of women reported having sexual fantasies at least occasionally. Men tend to report having sexual fantasies more frequently than women. For example, one study found that 54% of men reported having sexual fantasies several times a day compared to 19% of women.
Yeah, I
I
do
don't
believe
believe
that.
the study. They were just scared to talk up.
No,
No,
but I truly believe because I witnessed a lot of, like women that
No, for
I
sure. I believe it. But this is why I say that these numbers are like that, because women have been silenced and they're not in tune with themselves. But once they
yeah,
are,
that's
now those
exactly.
numbers change
Exactly.
completely.
I mean, how many women, just, like take as an example, how many women are going to be openly comment and talk about it, right? And that's exactly what I'm trying to say, that like a lot of times women might have some sexual fantasies but they are not ready to express them, right? So that's where the like the problem in the bedroom starts. Like for me, my fantasy is to have that man that we can explore anything, and we can do the role playing, like one time I dominate, another time he dominates me, right? And it's all about just like let's get creative, because sex could be so much fun when people are truly exploring and have no shame, no blame, like Toby said, no fear, right? When you're so comfortable with the person, you could just share. And not so many women are comfortable with their partners.
I
Correct? tell
agree
tell,
with
tell
you.
sex coach. Yes.
yes, yes, I told that you nailed it again, Irina. The majority, and Toby mentioned it also. The majority of women are not comfortable with their own skin. They are not
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with their pussies. They are not comfortable with the smell of their pussies, with the texture of their liquids. They are not comfortable with themselves. They don't know themselves. They cannot love themselves. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a problem, and it becomes a problem in a relationship. um, we touched the entire session on imagination, but the desire part is
Mm-hmm.
it's a crucial tool for this sexual fantasy, because if you don't know how much the desire for doing something, how to encourage that, will 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 help you explore deeper and more connected. But we don't use that desire part. So I tell my clients that take a break for a couple of days, go to a hotel with the ladies and come back home and see what happens. That's a small tool that I use with my clients. There are a lot of other tools, but I'm the one talking again. I'm going to leave you guys say
I think
something.
we're going to wrap it up because we're already on for a half an hour.
Right. How
But I'd
about
like,
continue that topic next time? Because
I
I
like
think we
it.
still have a lot to unpack. And I would love for the audience if they dare, right? Again, it's all about just, like dare and just, comment and say if this is something you want to hear more. So this way, if you say yes, 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 you can private message us, you can put it in the comments, whatever you feel like. But if this is the topic that really excites you and you want to hear more, we'll also come back next week and cover more about it.
Yeah, that
Yes.
Yes?
sounds awesome.
Yay! Awesome. So great discussion. I love that everybody has their own opinion, and that's how it should be in life, right? We cannot be here to agree with everything, right? Because we are all individuals, we are all unique. And let's bring more power to all these desires and imagination, knowing that this is part of who we are. And let's explore and let's have that sexual fantasies, right?
Yes.
Okay, all the best. See you next week. Bye.